You've dreamed about playing in the World Series of Poker for years. You finally make it to Vegas, and within the first hour you're completely lost, overwhelmed, and already making costly mistakes that could ruin your entire experience. If you are planning your first trip to the WSOP, the decisions you make before you even sit down at a table could determine whether you have the time of your life or go home with nothing but regret. Today I'm going to give you the insider's guide that will save you time, money, and potentially your entire tournament, so that you hopefully don't repeat the mistakes I made when I played my first WSOP in 2019. The World Series of Poker isn't just a tournament, it's a complete sensory overload that can overwhelm even experienced players. The scale, the noise, the crowds, nothing prepares you for the reality of being there. But with the right preparation, you can avoid the rookie mistakes and focus on what really matters, playing your best poker. Accommodation is your first major decision and is crucial. Stay as close to the Horseshoe as possible, even if it costs more. I know it's tempting to save money by booking a cheaper hotel further away, but this is a mistake that will cost you far more than you save. When you're playing WSOP events, you're talking about 12-hour days minimum. Some tournaments can stretch even longer, especially if you make deep runs. The last thing you want after grinding for 14 hours is to deal with Vegas traffic, ride shares, or long walks back to your hotel. Traffic on the Strip is notoriously unpredictable. What should be a 10-minute ride can easily turn into 45 minutes during peak hours. I've seen players miss the start of tournaments because they underestimated travel time. Equally important, a strategy to beat overwhelm. Plan to arrive in Vegas at least 2 to 3 days before your first scheduled tournament, especially if you fly in from a very different time zone. This isn't vacation time, this is acclimatization time, and it's absolutely critical for first timers. The WSOP is unlike anything you've experienced before. The sheer scale of the operation is staggering. We're talking about hundreds of tables, thousands of players, multiple tournaments running simultaneously, and constant activity 24/7. During my first visit in 2019, when the WSOP was still at the Rio, I spent over an hour just trying to find the registration area. The Rio was a maze of interconnected buildings, and even with signs everywhere, it was genuinely confusing. Use your early arrival time to scout everything out. Find the registration desk, locate the tournament areas, figure out where the cash games are spread, identify the food courts and restaurants, and most importantly, find the bathrooms. Trust me on this one. When you do start playing, don't jump straight into the main event or a major tournament. Start with smaller side events and cash games to get comfortable with the environment. The WSOP spreads dozens of smaller tournaments daily, $400 deep stacks, $500 turbos, various mixed games. These events give you the authentic WSOP experience without the massive buy-ins. If cash games are part of your plan, here's a pro tip that most first timers learn the hard way. Get there early in the morning. I'm talking about being at the poker room by 8 AM or 9 AM. I was so jet lagged when I arrived there that I woke up naturally at 4 AM, and I was usually the first player on the list for the first cash game in the morning. By afternoon and evening, the waiting lists for cash games become absolutely enormous. We're talking about 3-4 hour waits for a 1-3 no limit hold'em, and even longer for higher stakes. I've heard of players put their names on lists and not get called until the next day. Other useful tips: bring more money than you think you need. Vegas has a way of presenting unexpected opportunities, side bets, last minute tournament entries, higher stakes, cash games. Having extra bankroll prevents you from missing out or playing scared money. Physical preparation. The WSOP is physically demanding. Comfortable shoes are non-negotiable. You'll be doing more walking than you realize. And bring layers, because the air conditioning can be brutal and tournament rooms can get surprisingly cold during long sessions. Plan your meals in advance. Tournament break times are limited and good food options can have long queues. Know where you can grab quick, healthy options that won't make you sluggish during play. The variance in tournament poker can be brutal, especially when combined with the overwhelming environment. Prepare mentally for swings and have a plan for dealing with frustration or tilt.